So today, something was brought to my attention because I had overheard an episode of Adam Ruins Everything. Now, generally, the show's pretty harmless. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with what he says or how he acts, how he interacts with people. Nothing about that really particularly irks me. But he started to talk about men and how men feel the need to fill a certain mold that society has told them they need to be the big, strong, tough guy. They need to stand out from the crowd in that way and, fight to be the hero. And how we have stopped allowing ourselves to be sensitive, or just never have allowed ourselves to be sensitive. Now, while that might be true, perhaps there's something else going on here. Now, when the episode continued, I listened. Wasn't fully paying attention, but overheard him say that he got his advice on men from women. And that's where I just kind of was lost. Now, I understand, women, don't get me wrong, that you have some important things to say about how we interact with you. And we respect that. We do. Most men had absolutely no problem with me too. In fact, I don't think I know a single guy that was upset that the bad guys got caught. But I do know that there are a lot of good men that were also falsely accused, attacked, just for the sake of attention on the other person's behalf. So, yes, women, it's great that you have an opinion on how we should behave. But men, don't dictate your interactions with other people just because other people tell you to interact a certain way. If you want to hang out with your guys and joke around, say crass things, and interact in a way that's just rude or harsh, then do that. And you know what? Every interaction has its consequences, whether positive or negative. And women, men don't tell you how to interact with people. In fact, we may say things like, wow, that was very rude. And we may, have an aside to our friends discussing, wow, she was pretty, but, she became a lot less pretty when she interacted a certain way. Sure, we might have those conversations, but on a large global scale, do you see television shows or commercials like the Gillette commercial where you are told how to interact with us? How we're supposed to, tell you how to teach your daughters how to interact with men. No, it's not something we talk about. It's something you talk about. The other thing really that I've been noticing too is a lot of men lacking self-worth. And personally, if you ask me, this comes from this negative interaction. This constant being told that you're toxic just for being a man. This constant lie, I might add. And then on top of that, being told that the things you do and the things that you say are bad or harsh or negative. No, you are nothing less or more than the sum of your parts. You're a person, just like she is, and just like he is, and just like everybody. Doesn't matter the color of your skin, your creed, your background, whether you, gay, straight, bi, everybody's a person. And everybody, as long as at least you're in the United States, are welcome to the exact same rights that everybody else is. And the value of a human being in American culture does not stem from what other people think, even though they like to tell you that that's the case. No, it comes from inside of yourself. If you have no value in your own mind, how on earth do you expect anyone else to determine that you have value in their mind? It kind of runs on the same principle of you can't take care of somebody else if you can't take care of yourself. You got to be able to do both and able to do that. Which is where I kind of come to the point where I start to understand a little more the whole MGTOW, men going their own way crowd. All these negative interactions with women telling them they are horrible for behaving like a man. I kind of get it. And I don't blame you. In fact, I've considered it myself. But I've also learned that there are plenty of women out there that aren't like that at all. That understand how to interact with us and understand how to communicate in a way that isn't demeaning. It's funny how this conversation 40 years prior would be discussed between women about men. And now I'm having to turn the script on them instead. But guys, you can go your own way. You incels out there can do your own thing. If you really want to hate women and think that they all just are horrible, then that's your right. You can dislike whoever you want to dislike. But perhaps just putting it out there, respect and kindness to each other will go much further than extending the negativity to the other side. Now, I'm not saying that they're right, and I'm not saying that they should treat you the way you've been treated. In fact, I really think that they should probably turn around and look in the mirror and reconsider the way that they've behaved. But we both know that's not going to happen. We all know that what's going to happen is you're going to get mad after they've gotten mad. And now everybody's mad. And it just escalates. And now you have a situation where there's been polling done and 30% of men will not interact at all with women in the workplace. Isn't that crazy? Imagine 1 out of 3 dudes does not talk to chicks at work at all in any circumstance. And 20% of them won't hire women anymore. Or at least are terrified of doing so. Everybody was super concerned with the current situation. And sure, catching the bad guys was good with Me Too and everything. Everyone was super concerned with the moment, what was going on right then, and completely forgot that there would be any consequences to the situation. They thought that what was right then and now mattered the most. And forgot that some people out there, not all, some, are horrible people and treat people horribly and interact with people horribly. That it doesn't matter your race, color, creed, gender, whatever. It doesn't matter what you are, what you say you are. There are bad people everywhere. But coinciding with the laws of nature, there are good people everywhere too. Never forget that. There are good people everywhere. And the first reaction you should have with someone is not how worried you are that they're one of the bad people. But maybe, just maybe, come out the gate treating them like they're a good person. They'll show their true colors eventually. If not immediately, most of the time, if they're a bad person. And you will have weeded out the worst of the worst. And you know what? If you can tell someone's bad, don't keep them around. That's the most frustrating thing I've ever heard or ever seen. If you know that they are toxic for your life, cut them out. Get rid of them. Why waste your time? It's your time. It's your life. It's not theirs. And if they're upset, so what? Why is that your problem? For once in your life, instead of considering other people, which is great and all, consider yourself. Because all of this is about considering the opinions of others as more valuable than your own. And that's just not the case. Now, women, I'm speaking to you. Be happy that men are men. We're not evil. We're not terrible. We're not trying to hurt you in any way. In fact, we go out of our way to be kind and loving. So please treat us respectfully, at least. Kind if you can. And men, do the same. Don't just leave the conversation and act like nothing ever happened, because it did happen. All of this has happened. We need to move forward together and just force our way through all of this. Enjoy the things we enjoy. Be the people we are. And don't change just for the sake of social cause or just the sake of change. Try being honest for the sake of honesty. And when I say honest, I don't mean exposing yourself to the world, making yourself just completely and openly just strewn out in front of the world. No, I mean, be yourself. God. All those guys that are pretending to be feminists, really being snakes, and half of them coming out as people who sexually assault the women in the movement, or are just trying to get laid, or whatever. Sure, I get it. Some of you are just that way. That's fine. But enough of you have come out as something terrifying that I have to make a statement on it. Instead of pretending to be that guy, be honest for the sake of honesty. So that when everything comes around and we have snakes in our midst, we can just point them out. Because we can tell who's being fake, who's lying to everybody and trying to pretend to be somebody they're not. Be yourself, whether that's some ridiculously brutish, masculine man, or it's a tech nerd like me who tinkers on computers all day long. You know, I figured at some point this would not be something I had to say. That people would figure this out over time, and this wouldn't be really a discussion that we had. We'd move on like normal people and interact the way we're supposed to, which is just an open discourse and conversation. I figured that would be something that I could just let happen on its own. But it's just getting worse. Before it gets better, I guess, huh? I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think.